fractions. We're going to be looking at adding fractions, subtracting fractions, multiplying fractions, dividing with fractions, fractions of an amount, and we shall start off with mixed number fractions to improper and vice versa, improper fractions back to mixed. So let's begin with 2 3/4 as an improper fraction. I want you to visualize 2 whole pizzas and then you greedily eat 2 whole pizzas and then 3/4 of another pizza. How many total quarters have you eaten? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. You've eaten 11 quarters of pizza. Obviously we don't want to be drawing out our pizzas every time, so let's look for a quick way. Your whole number, we multiply that by 4. So we times the big number with the denominator. That tells us how many total of that fraction we have. Then we add on the numerator, because that tells us how many extra we have left over. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11 out of 4. So try this. If you said 10 over 3, you would be correct. 3 times 3 is 9, add the 1 is 10. Now let's go the other way. 25 over 3 as a mixed number fraction. What we want to think about is how many 3's go into 25. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So that's 8 3's go into 25 with 1 left over. So 8 1/3. The reason why we need to do this is because if you are adding, taking away, multiplying or dividing with fractions and they give you a mixed number fraction, you need to first convert that to an improper fraction. So first let's look at adding and subtracting. So back to our pizzas. Let's say you have eaten 1/3 of pizza and then you eat another third of pizza. From the diagram you can see you have eaten 2/3 of pizza. What you'll notice by this example is that the denominator is the same. So when adding or subtracting with fractions, we need to keep that denominator the same or make it the same. So if we look at 1/4 plus 1/2. So you have eaten 1/4 of pizza and then you have eaten 1/2 of pizza. What we can see is that our 1/2 of pizza was 2/4. So what we could say is that we've multiplied, we've doubled top and bottom here to make the denominators the same. Add across the top. Essentially what we're looking for when adding or taking away with fractions is looking for the lowest common multiple. So here, for example, some students like to use this like upside down table method, but what we're looking for is the lowest common multiple of the denominators, 5 and 3. How we get there is we multiply our first fraction by the other denominator and vice versa. So our first fraction, we are multiplying it up completely by 3, so that's 12 over 15, and then 10 over 15. Add the numerators across, that's 22 out of 15. Practice putting that into a mixed number fraction. How many 15's go into 22? That's 1 remainder, 7 15ths. So this is the same method as if you were to subtract. Denominators need to be the same, and then you subtract across as opposed to add. Multiplying with fractions, 2/3 times 1/4. Nice and easy with multiplying, you multiply straight across. 2/12. Which can be simplified, both are divisible by 2, to 1/6. What we call these are equivalent fractions. They are the same, we've just simplified it down. 2/12 is the same as 1/6, which is why we can multiply up fractions, because 10/15 is equivalent to 2/3. Just a reminder that if we have a mixed number fraction, we do need to get it to improper before we do adding, subtracting, timesing or dividing. So let's practice. 2 times 3 is 6, add the 1 is 7/3 times 1/2. We time straight across, 7/6. Practice getting that into a mixed number. How many 6's go into 7? That's 1. Remainder 1. Dividing with fractions, we use the keep, change, flip rule. So 2/3 divided by 1/4. We keep, we change, and we flip. So we keep 2/3, we change the divide into a multiply, and then we flip your second fraction upside down. Now it becomes a multiplication with fractions, and we just time straight across. That's 8/3. Let's practice getting that into a mixed number fraction. How many 3's go into 8? That's 2. Remainder 2. So 2 2/3. Finally, fractions of amounts. 2/7 of 210, for example. What I'd like you to think about is, well, what is 1/7 of 210? If you get stuck with that, think, well, what is 1/2 of 20, let's say? Hopefully you know that half of 20 is 10. How did you get there? You did 20 divided by 2. You halved it, you divided it by 2. So that then reminds us that if you are finding 1/7 of something, or 1/5, all we're doing is we are dividing by this. So that's 210 divided by 7. So how many 7's into 21? That's 3. Add on that 0. So if 1/7 is 30, that's to say that 2/7, you have 2 of those, is 60.